So in full transparency, we legit recorded our first podcast episode.
And it was trash.
Then we decided we didn't like it.
It was trash.
We spent so much time on it and we just scrapped it all.
We even nixed the idea.
It was like a good idea, but it didn't hit the mark. So round 2.
Back at it again.
If you hear our kids in the background,
you get it, your mom.
It's part of the program.
It's part of the program.
If I'm out of breath, it's because I literally had to walk away to go find my daughter's Cinderella dress and her shoes. I literally can't. So, yeah.
It's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Oh my God. Okay, so welcome to the Mommy Issues podcast.
Giving you mommy issues in the best way.
Literally straight from the freaking tap, literally.
Just like
straight
our
from the
breastfeeding
boob.
video. As if you
Straight from
didn't
the boob.
know, Brittany drank my breast milk last week. Straight out of the tap.
And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It was my first time trying it again since I just had my daughter. It's not as sweet anymore. It used to be like literal coffee creamer. It was so good.
Oh my
now it's
God.
a little bit.
It was good. It was different than I was imagining, but it was pretty good. So if you don't know who we are, I'm Brittany and my best friend Sadie. So I guess we can go into a little bit about us and then we can dive straight into the issue of the day.
Hell yeah.
So I'm Brittany. I have 3 children. I am a stay-at-home mom, but I also am a photographer on the side. I don't really know what else to say, so go ahead.
I'm Sadie. I am a first-time mom to a 1.5-year-old baby. Her name is Charlotte. She's the best. She's actually been biting a lot lately. That's not fun. But I have 11 younger siblings, so I've been around kids my entire life. I have a psychology degree, and I'm a full-time content creator and a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, no, literally same. I'm also a content creator, and that's how I met her, is through TikTok. I love her, and we have started all these different things, and this is one of them. So we figured we would share our crazy lives with you, and hopefully you can find some things relatable about it. Because I know I like listening to things like this. And just being open and real and honest, because we need more of that in mom world, honestly.
Today we're going to be talking about all of the postpartum things that I feel like no one else really talks about. We're getting into the nitty-gritty, the gross details.
Yeah. So if you're a new mom, or if you're pregnant, or if you have yet to have kids and you're listening, then buckle the fuck in.
Just know we're being honest.
We are being fully transparent and
not holding anything back.
Some of these topics may or may not be a little TMI.
TMI.
Very much so.
We're going to drop some bombs.
Yeah. But I think that it's needed. So, I guess to start off with the postpartum thing, postpartum is a fucking disaster.
Such a disaster.
It's a disaster. It's a blissful disaster.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay,
and I hate to say that it's a disaster for everyone, because it's really not a disaster for everyone.
I feel like my experience, I've only had one baby, but I feel like my experience in postpartum wasn't the best, but it wasn't as bad as how I understand yours was.
Mine was really bad. Really bad. So I have 3 children. I don't know if I mentioned that in my anxiety-induced introduction, but I have 3 kids. And the oldest one is almost 12, which is insane. My middle is 3.
Maddie's half my age.
Isn't that insane?
Sadie
and I have an age gap.
6 years?
I think it's 6 years. I had my first child really young though. So I had her when I was 19. So I'm 30.
I'm 24.
And so yeah, and then my youngest is 1 tomorrow, and it's so crazy. I'm so sad about it.
I'm emo.
Oh my God, it's so awful. So, and that's my last one. I am done having children, so I'm just gonna be a disaster tomorrow. So I'm so sad. But anyway, my postpartum progressively got worse as I had more babies. So
maybe start from the beginning.
God,
I was so hard about it.
Let's discuss birth postpartum, like right after birth.
Yeah. 'cause
What
they should go
happens
whole.
immediately after birth? Because I feel like a lot of people don't
Yeah.
know,
I
you
mean,
know?
honestly, a lot of people don't even remember.
No, I know. You block that
That's
shit out.
crazy.
And like that's why I'm like part of me is like I don't even remember, but like
I hardly remember.
I can pull that shit out because it's traumatic, I feel like. And like maybe we don't remember because it is traumatic.
Mhm. Your body wants you to have more babies. It's what you're hardwired to do.
No, that's so true.
So it's like a psychological trick that it plays on you.
Wow, I never that you're so smart. Your body is playing a trick on you because it knows that you need to have more babies
I
and it
made a
doesn't
video
want to
about it.
scare you. Did
Yeah.
you really?
Yeah, no, seriously, your brain like puts a block up
Oh.
about how much pain you were in and how terrible it was because your body wants you to have more babies. Like
Like
it's your natural.
biologically, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
So that's why you have like that like
You
hazy
forget.
fog. Like you know it was bad, but
Damn.
you can't really like conceptualize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a trick that your body plays on you. It
Huh.
was that bad, maybe. Sometimes.
No, that's so true. So when it comes to immediately after birth, like fresh postpartum, I disassociate every time I have a baby, like right after.
Mhm.
So like let's like pull up the definition of disassociation so we can be like smart about this. But like like for instance, like I would have the baby for like my first baby. I had a pretty easy labor with her. But like they put her on my chest and I feel like I'm just like not even there.
That's so real. I was expecting this like crazy cinematic wash of emotions
Yeah.
to take over my body and
Yeah.
like to cry and to be hysterically
Like
I
so
don't know, so
happy.
euphoric.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that. And I
No
kind of feel
emotion.
guilty about
No
it.
emotion.
It's
Yeah.
like, should I have felt that way?
Yeah. And I wonder if it's like
I think part of it's the epidural.
part of it's probably the epidural, but then also like what if it's what's that word? Oh, when you like get excited about something and your brain like I'll think of it.
No, I
But
don't.
anyway,
The
no.
definition of dissociation is the disconnection or separation of something from something else or the state of being disconnected.
Okay, no shit. That was an awful definition.
That's the Oxford Dictionary.
Oh, do the go up.
Oh.
Psychiatry version.
Separation of some aspects of mental functioning from conscious awareness, leading to a degree of mental dysfunction or to mental conditions, including dissociative identity disorder.
Okay. I feel like that's a little more accurate.
It's like the feeling of not being in your body.
Yeah, like you're not actually there.
It's like you're watching your life through somebody else's eyes.
It's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. Like I don't want to say that I'm not happy after my babies come out of me, but like it's just a weird feeling.
It's so weird.
So that's like right off the rip. That's my first postpartum thing is disassociation. After that, I'm gonna be all over the place because I had 3 and I feel like I'm like mixing and matching. But with my third, my back pain was like a 9 out of 10
Really?
postpartum. Like while I was at the hospital. And I remember I would like ask them and I'm like, oh, and my cramps too. My cramps were
Really?
horrible. And I remember asking the nurses like, hey, like something's wrong. Like I'm in a lot of pain. And they're like, oh no, that's normal. Like after you have multiple babies, it takes your body longer to like shrink back. So like your cramps are worse because your body is like working overtime. And I'm like, oh,
That is so interesting.
they're like, that's normal.
You'd think that your body's like used to it. And, like,
Yeah, no, really.
muscle memory.
So they're like, no, if you have more babies, like it gets worse every single
But
time.
the birth is faster, isn't it?
Yes.
Interesting.
But like, that's interesting though, because my third was my longest birth
Oh.
because I didn't have any intervention.
Oh.
My first 2, I had, well, actually, yeah, my first one, I was induced totally. My second one, my water broke, but then I was induced. That's so true. If my ring is smashing around, so sorry.
You're like hitting the table.
That's so fucking no.
This
I'm
is
like
actually
okay. Listen,
ASMR.
I'm a hand talker, so like
Me too.
it's so embarrassing. I'll like post a talking video on TikTok,
I'm a
and I'm
love
like
talker.
my hands are just like all over the place, and I'm like this is so embarrassing.
I'm a pacer, so I feel weird talking and sitting down. Like if I'm at the bar, this is why I won't go to a small bar.
Oh,
sit
because you
here
can't
and
just
talk
sit at the
sitting.
bar. No,
I
I
have
can
to do-
sit.
Running a mile.
I'm a lazy ass, so like give me a fucking chair. I will sit there
Chairs and
and I will
yap.
yap.
We need like those bouncy ball chairs.
I have a bouncy ball.
Shut up.
I do.
You just hear squeak, squeak, squeak.
I literally got it to get my baby out last time.
Oh. I didn't use a bouncy ball until I was in the delivery room.
No, that's literally how I think Logan came to be.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, yeah. So second baby, my water did break, but I did get Pitocin, so it definitely sped it up. And then third baby, I don't think I got Pitocin at all. If I did, I don't remember.
Really?
But it took forever for that girl to come out. Forever. I remember like I was in so much pain and I'm looking at the nurse. I'm like, is this normal? Like, is she okay? Because it's taking forever. And she's like, no, this is normal. Like this is normal. So
That's crazy.
How
long were you in labor?
mm-hmm.
I was in labor for an hour and a half.
Like full from start to finish?
Like labor. No, like just pushing labor.
Okay.
Active.
Oh, pushing?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I love talking about this because I fucking ate that shit up. First baby, it took me, I think, 20 minutes of pushing.
20 minutes. That's crazy.
20 minutes of pushing for my first. She was 5 pounds. She was very tiny. So, like, take that as you will. Second baby, she came out in 15 minutes. I was determined to beat my time. I literally told my husband, I said, look at the clock. If I go past 15 minutes, you need to tell me.
Oh my God.
I'm not even kidding. Third baby, she was huge. So
how big was huge?
8 pounds, 4 weeks early.
Oh.
She would have been massive.
Yeah.
Massive child. It took me 17 minutes to get her out.
It took me an hour and a half.
That's insane.
Charlotte was 8 pounds, 8
That's
ounces.
insane. No, the nurses told me, they're like, oh, usually first-time moms push for 2 hours. I said, fuck
They told me that if I pushed for 2 hours, they would cut me open.
Fuck that.
And they told me, they're like, you have 30 minutes left before we send you to the OR.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
that's scary.
And honestly, and mind you, my epidural was so good, I couldn't feel my contractions anymore. I couldn't feel myself pushing.
Oh my gosh.
I had to watch myself give birth because I didn't know if I was doing anything.
Yeah. Like, is it actually working?
And I had to watch the little graph.
Yeah.
To see
Oh
when
my God, the graph.
happened.
I was on that, like, white on rice. I was just so terrified.
Yeah.
Like, throughout the whole thing.
Crazy.
Like, the only goal is to get this baby out of me, literally.
I feel like I have really bad health anxiety, so I was like just convinced the whole time. I'm like, one of us is gonna die during birth. Like, it's either gonna be me.
No, I know, it's so scary. No, birth is scary, and you are valid to be scared because it's a lot, and like you just want to come out safe, and you want your baby to come out safe, and like that's it.
I wonder how it was to give birth in like the Middle Ages.
You know what though? I almost wonder if like it wasn't that bad because of the fact that things are so public now, and like there is like news coverage and like social media and like all different things. And I feel like that wasn't the case back in the day. So like,
yeah, but also they had like no pain management.
True. No, that's so true. But like, were you scared of something that you didn't know of? Like how could you possibly be scared of something that you're not aware of?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, they had to have known that like some people died during.
For sure. Well, I bet you more women died back then, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
You would think.
For sure. Actually, let's look it up.
But yeah, so I don't even remember why we started talking about the birth. But anyway, after birth, disassociation, like for sure, 100%. The cramps were just awful. They wouldn't give me any pain meds, and I'm like, okay, great. So I'm just like here to struggle with these cramps. It was really bad. And then, you get home from the hospital and normally the baby blues will hit.
I don't understand the difference between baby blues and like postpartum.
Okay, so baby blues usually happens around 2 weeks postpartum. If it lasts longer than 2 weeks, it's not baby blues, it's postpartum depression. So baby blues is normal. Your hormones take a dip. So it's normal for you to like be sad and like crying for no fucking reason for a short period of time.
Okay. And then if it's prolonged.
If it's a long time, I think it's like maybe after a month and you still feel that way, it's most likely postpartum depression and you should go to the doctor. But baby blues is normal.
Yeah, you're right. It's up to 2 weeks.
Okay. So yeah, baby blues is totally normal. If you have your baby and you are sitting on the hospital bed bawling your eyes out, that's absolutely normal.
Yeah. That's kind of what my experience was when I had my daughter. I hemorrhaged with her, which we can get into that later, but I hemorrhaged with her. My blood pressure dropped really low, and I have really bad health anxiety. So I had the worst panic attack I've ever had in my life in the recovery room. I was crying, I was hyperventilating, I was like frantic. I told my doctors, I'm going to die. I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying. I've never felt sicker in my life. And I told them, I was like, I was on antidepressants for my anxiety before I had gotten pregnant, and I need it. And so they got me Zoloft that day. Didn't even have to talk to a psychiatrist. It was pretty fucking obvious that I needed it. Um, and I feel like my Zoloft worked so well that I didn't have baby blues. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I was in a lot of pain. Recovery was hard, but like I was the happiest I've honestly ever been in
Yeah.
recovery. Like having my boyfriend Jack home for those 2 or 3 weeks and like helping me and just being surrounded by my family and her, like I was really happy. So I'm glad I didn't have that experience.
Yeah. My first one wasn't really that bad. I did have like I hated him.
Yeah.
And to be clear, my oldest daughter was adopted by my now husband, but she does have a different father biologically. Um, he was obviously a POS, hence why he's not around anymore by his choice. But um, he wasn't really helpful. But I didn't feel like depressed. I just hated him.
Do you think it was like, do you think you would have hated him either way? Or like, was
I think it was postpartum. I think it was postpartum. I just never like dove into it because I
yeah.
wasn't like really struggling that bad. I just couldn't
Probably giving you
stand him.
reasons to
I just
hate
couldn't
him.
stand him, you know? So, but then I actually found that out after. There I go again with the ring. I'm so sorry. But I actually found that after I like was doing research and they're like, "Oh, you had postpartum depression." And I'm like, "Oh, that makes
Postpartum
sense."
rage scares the shit
Postpartum
out of
rage.
me.
Okay, so yeah, postpartum rage was like my actual biggest problem after I had my third.
Yeah.
And I will just give you a little insight to postpartum rage.
Like, be
Um,
so honest. Like,
I am going to be so fucking brutally honest and like you can judge me if you want, but like this is like real shit. So like I will give two examples.
and it's not your fault. Before you even say anything, it's not your fault. It's literally out of your control.
Yeah, no,
That's the
it's
reason it's such a problem.
your hormones get so messed
Like,
up.
let's make that so fucking clear.
And
Not mom
it
shaming.
really affects everything that you do. It affects the way you feel. It affects the way you handle things. It's insane. It's actually crazy. But I will give some examples of my postpartum rage. Um, my second baby, oh my God, there was a night, I don't know how old she was, but she was little, like
Mhm.
really little. There was a night where she was up every 2 hours
Yeah.
and I was fucking losing my shit. Like it was so bad. I got so angry. I literally was like whipping the bottle, not at her, but like
But
in
just like
her
kicking it.
vicinity.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I like whipped the passy down. I'm like, what the fuck? Like so unnecessary. But like I knew that it was wrong, but like I couldn't even help it. Like it like bubbled up.
Well,
It's scary.
and on top of the hormonal change, on top of the postpartum rage and the postpartum depression, you're also not getting any
Not
sleep.
sleep. No
And that's
sleep
so terrible.
fucks you up.
Oh my God, there's this thing that I learned in psych classes. I forget exactly. Give me a second, I'll remember. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's no, it when you remember, interrupt me because I'm very interested in hearing. But like that's a fact that if you are not getting enough sleep, your your hormonal changes and your mental health will be worse because you're so tired.
Driving, this is one thing that I learned in psych. Driving on like a lack of sleep when you're like
Mhm.
sleep deprived is almost as bad as driving drunk.
Yeah, for sure.
First of all, it also changes your mood, increased irritability, anxiety, and a greater risk of feeling depressed, cognitive impairment, difficulty concentrating, remembering things, making decisions, increased emotional reactivity, making it harder to control emotions and cope with stress, slower reaction times, impaired problem solving, and difficulty with complex tasks.
Mm.
And in extreme cases, sleep deprivation can induce hallucinations and paranoia. So you're like literally
Yeah.
going through
Like you're going
psychosis.
insane from lack of sleep. And I feel like that is a huge reason why I felt so horrible after my second. Um, it was bad. And that's like the one rage fit that I remember having, just because it was so like, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing? And then I'll just stay on the baby number two because I'm like there. I would literally be sitting, rocking her, trying to put her to sleep, and I would be like having the worst intrusive thoughts, like horrible. And like I was never like suicidal. I was never homicidal, but I had thoughts
Yeah.
of homicide.
Like, you can't control that.
And it scared the fuck out of me because I would think about, like, for instance, I remember this vividly because it scared the shit out of me. I was rocking my baby and I was thinking about the fucking bathtub.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
It's so fucking scary. And I'm like,
scary.
what the fuck? And I'm literally rocking her, bawling.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why am I thinking like that? Why am I thinking of my baby literally dying? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Honestly, I've never had I don't think I had postpartum rage. I think I would have had postpartum depression had I not immediately gotten on antidepressants. I know I needed it. I had prenatal depression really, really bad. I was going nuts. So I knew that I just needed it. I've never had that kind of intrusive thought where I was worried about myself hurting someone or I'm not going to add the second part. I've never worried about hurting someone else.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I haven't worried about hurting myself.
Yeah.
But the intrusive thoughts that I had after Charlotte was every hour. So I would just play this vision in my head of her dying in the most brutal ways and flying out the window shield.
Yeah.
Or,
no, same.
Smashing her head open. And I'm like, I cannot stop thinking about this. I'm seeing it in my head. I'm feeling the emotions. I'm crying and I'm acting like she's dying.
Gone. No,
I'm
literally.
It's the worst. I hate feeling like that. I hate feeling
it's like you're a prisoner in your own head, and it's so sad because I have such fucking empathy for moms who do, and this is gonna sound so horrible, but I don't care. For moms who are in postpartum depression or in postpartum psychosis who do harm their children, I have such empathy for them because I know that probably 8 times out of 10, if they had just had a baby, it's not them.
It's not them.
They're sick. It's so scary. And I don't think that you can really understand that unless you've been through it.
I agree.
But since I had those thoughts, not that I ever wanted to act on them, they scared me more than anything. I'm like, why am I thinking like this? I never thought to do it. Otherwise, I would have told my husband, you need to get, I need help.
Yeah.
But it's just scary that could even be in your head.
Those cries for help too are so often ignored.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What that one woman, that case that we always talk about.
Oh my
What's
God.
her name?
Lindsay Clancy. And that's going to be an episode all in its own because I am so gung-ho about Lindsay Clancy and the fact that she was in a postpartum psychosis. I will fight till the death about it because that's a whole nother thing. But
no good mother who wanted their child would ever intentionally, without a sickness in their head, hurt their child.
I agree.
No sound mother would do that. You are biologically wired to not do that.
Yeah. And it doesn't make it right. I'm not excusing it, but there is a reason for it. And it's a tragedy. And it's so sad.
And there are signs. The signs are so often ignored. And it's not just for postpartum. It's also for anybody who's
mental
suicidal.
health.
And
yeah.
That's exactly why I went into psychology, because it's ignored and it shouldn't be.
It's just not understood, I think. And it's sad because I think that with my third baby, that's why I was so depressed with her, just because no one really understood where I was coming from. And I was having a hard time relaying that information or relaying those feelings to, my friends and family. And I think people were just taking it the wrong way. People had no idea what was going on. And they just didn't know how to help me. And they weren't aware, unfortunately. But on top of the anxiety that I had, and the intrusive thoughts of my baby's dying in crazy ways, I think that the reason why I had suicidal ideation with my third baby is just because I felt so misunderstood, and I did feel crazy because I felt like people thought I was crazy. And in my head at that time, I would just went to, okay, well, everyone hates me. no one understands me. I'm insane. My children shouldn't have me. No one should have me in their life. I'm insane, which is just really sad. Like
It is so sad.
I had not planned. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I had thought through
Like, you, like,
multiple
daydreamed about
times.
it.
I did. I daydreamed what would be the easiest way, what would be the best way to not affect my family. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
This is real shit. This is real shit. That was literally me during my prenatal depression. Like, I remember at one point I was being crazy, and like, I'm literally putting all the blame on me in this situation. I was being fucking crazy. And I left the house and I'm walking down this road. It's like a 45 mile an hour.
I can literally feel it.
Literally
the crazy. I can feel
I
it.
storm out of the house, slam the door. I run away down the street. I'm living in like the countryside at this point. The roads are like 45 miles an hour. I'm stepping over roadkill, and I'm like, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be
That's
me.
literally gonna be. I'm gonna be
And I'm calling
roadkill.
Jack, and I'm like, I'm running away.
Isn't
I'm
that-
running away.
isn't
I'm
that
gonna become
crazy?
roadkill. I'm gonna die. And he's like, then turn around, you fucking crazy person. Like, what is wrong with you?
Oh my God, I'm like so red right now. Oh, okay, I'm back. I'm back, guys. It's so hard to talk about, honestly, because I feel like I'm still so fresh from it.
Yeah, and you recently, I don't know if you want to say this, we can cut it out if you don't, but you just got off your meds.
No, I literally just got off my meds. Yeah, no. So on that topic, so I was on Zoloft. The Zoloft fucked me up. So while I support SSRIs, I also feel like it takes a long time to find your SSRI. Zoloft was not it for me. It literally made me like a little fucking sim.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it's not even just like SSRIs. It's like any psychiatric drug.
Yeah,
So
no,
like,
that's so true.
they're just playing a guessing game unless they do, and they do this at my mom's work. My mom's a nurse and she works at a psych ward. And they can do this test and figure out like exactly where the hormones in your brain and like the chemicals in your brain are at to give you the right medication. But at a regular psychology appointment or a regular psychiatry appointment, you're not getting that test.
Yeah.
So they're playing this guessing game about what drug does it sound like they should be on. And if
Yeah.
for example, if you're taking a drug that's increasing your serotonin, but you already have enough serotonin
It's
and you're
not
lacking in
you up.
dopamine or oxy, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. Oxytocin or whatever the hell it
thank
is.
you.
Yeah.
I was going to say oxycodone. I'm like,
No, I
that was-
literally do the same thing
that
all
was
the time.
that was such wrong. But like if you're taking the wrong substance and you're already fine, it's going to fuck you up in other ways, because if you have too much serotonin, for example,
Yeah.
you get really anxious. So it might help with your depression, but your anxiety is going to be through the roof.
That's so true. That's so freaking true.
So like that's why when, like, for example, there's someone in my family that I think could really benefit from like antidepressants, and she's so scared to get on them because she's heard these horror stories. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. I mean, they're not all going to work for you. It's probably not going to be the first one, but you might find one that is good for you.
No, that's so true.
And
because I was on Zoloft. I got off of it because I'm like, okay, I'm like going insane at this point. Like I literally couldn't get any task done. I was losing my mind. I was sweating bullets. Not including the postpartum sweats, by the way, which we forgot to mention.
We'll talk about
But like,
that.
ugh. So I was sweating profusely, constantly. I was getting into it with people. People thought I was literally insane. Made an appointment with a therapist because I'm like, oh my God, maybe I am insane. Like maybe I need intervention. Like I don't freaking know. So I made an appointment with a therapist and a psychologist and psychiatrist, and from the get-go, they're like, okay, well, you obviously don't metabolize the Zoloft correctly. Your body doesn't metabolize it right, which is why it's not working. And I'm like, okay. So they ended up putting me on Prozac, which worked fine for me. I did okay on it. I did fine. And then they also validated that I indeed am not crazy.
Good.
And all of the things that I was dealing with and all of the things that, were happening and that were being said to me, she just basically validated my feelings on it and was like, you're not crazy. This sounds all so normal of you on your end. She was like,
being told you're crazy.
it's
so
sad.
much.
And you believe it. You believe it. And then it made me depressed.
Yeah.
It made me more depressed. And that is what made me suicidal, to be honest. Like I wasn't suicidal because of the baby. I was suicidal because people are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Crazy.
Like, you're crazy, you're acting crazy, you're doing this, you're doing that. And then I'm like,
Like,
oh
you
my
just needed
God.
support.
Like, oh my God. Like, wow, no, you're right. I am fucking crazy. And like, I wasn't fucking crazy. I
You
was
just needed
I just
support.
needed support, and I needed someone to be like, no, like, you're okay. Like, why don't you go to bed? Like,
Like,
why
take a
don't you
nap.
take a
I'll take the
nap?
baby.
Yeah, no.
I feel like I had very similar feelings about my friends. Like, before I got pregnant, I was a bartender in downtown Cleveland. I had just graduated from college. I literally found out 3 days before graduation that I was pregnant,
Oh my God.
which was like perfect, actually.
Yeah.
Jack and I had talked about it. We're like, we don't want to have a baby until we're done with college.
Well,
3 days before I walked the stage.
Listen.
It did listen. 3 days before I walked the stage, I find out I'm pregnant. And I was expecting all of my friends that I had, my best friends, my old roommates, the people that I talked to on the daily and like had in my life so close to me for such a long time. I was expecting them to be excited for me and to be aunties to my daughter.
Yeah.
I remember I called up 2 of my friends, like first and foremost, told them, hey, I have a crazy thing to tell you. I'm pregnant. This one girl, I never heard from her again.
What?
Swear to God,
What?
5 months goes by. 5 months goes by. She was my best fucking friend.
No.
Like, we had lived together.
Oh my
We had
God.
lived together for
Oh
like
my
2
God.
years.
That's horrible.
5 months goes by. And I made a petty TikTok. And I was like, when 5 months goes by and you haven't heard from your best friend when you're pregnant and like going through post or prenatal depression.
Prenatal's hard too.
It was so hard. And that was like all of my friendships at the time. I stopped hearing from everyone. I didn't have a single fucking friend left. And I was so excited and I wanted to share that with people. And I was also going through a really hard time and I really wanted to share that with people too.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anyone but Jack to lean on and like my family, but I needed one of my friends. You know?
No,
I had no
absolutely.
one to talk to, no friends with kids, nothing. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was so scared and like lonely and sad. And then even after I had her, I still didn't have a lot of friends. Like, which is why when I watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and I was like, oh, I should make a mom group.
Yeah.
And it actually helped out so much. So I'm so thankful for that. But
no, absolutely. If I wouldn't have met you, I honestly don't know.
no, dead
Because
ass.
I didn't have any, and granted, like, I had like my mother-in-law and my mom, so I don't want to like say I didn't have any family members,
But it's
but
not the same.
it's different when it's people who you really value and you hold close, to you that don't seem to get it, and
like they're just not in the same part of their
they're
life.
perceiving it differently than what it is, and it's really sad. And
family members have like preconceived notions about you. Like,
yeah.
I feel like a friend, like a third party friend that didn't necessarily come from either side of the family is also just different because there's no prior feelings being held.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's just hard.
It's really hard. And I guess if you're listening and you are not a mother, but you know mothers, just like try to see the other side of it. Like if you have a friend and they had a baby and they stopped talking to you, it's not because they don't want to talk to you, it's because they're going through it. And
Yeah.
like you should force your way into their life. And I know that sounds crazy, but like you should take the initiative as their friend and you should drop them off a care package. You should go over there and do their laundry. You
Or
should
even
do
just
their
a fucking
dishes.
text.
A
Like,
text message. Hey, how are you doing?
yeah.
I know that like you're going through it. Like, are you okay?
Like the fact that like that friend of mine that I was talking about that we lived together, we were best friends for like years and years, has never met my child.
That's insane.
And we talked about being moms
That's
together one day.
crazy.
We were like planning our future as best friends and like they never met my daughter.
That's so sad.
I've brought people into my life that have done me so dirty and they've met my kid.
Right.
And like people that I always imagined to meet her never did. And like that just sucks.
Yeah.
And on top of that, your idea about yourself after you have a baby is so changed.
It's so different. Your self-worth is either heightened or it's broken.
You're just a different person. And that's hard to conceptualize.
Yes. And also, I think that a lot of people don't understand that like you are going to be different for a while. And after you kind of get over the hump of like the first year, I think a lot of people kind of feel back into themselves and they feel more themselves. They start acting more like themselves, and it sucks because I think a lot of people write off their friends after they have a baby thinking, oh, well, they don't talk to me anymore. Oh, well, this and that. They're different now. And it's like, no, they're just going through something that you just don't
But
understand.
also, they are different now.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're not the same person with the same values and
Yeah.
beliefs and not the same person to hang out with. But they are not first in their life anymore.
They're
Their
not.
child
Yes,
is.
absolutely. Their priorities change.
And for the better,
yes,
honestly.
as a friend, you should understand that their priorities are going to be their family, as it should be. And as a friend, you should just be there for them whenever they're ready to, start leaving the house again or whatever. But like as a friend, you should be there for your friends no matter what. You should show up, just annoy them. If they're not answering you, go to their freaking house,
Show up.
knock on the door. Hey, I'm here to do your freaking dishes. Let me in.
Yeah.
Don't expect anything. Let her shower. Say, I can wash the baby if you want to go take a shower, whatever.
Oh my God. I do have this one friend that did stick with me through my whole pregnancy, and we're still friends now. And she's like an aunt to my daughter, and she would come over all the time and just start cleaning.
Yeah,
Like,
I
she'd be
love
mopping my
that. I love
floors,
that.
bringing me coffee, and like I never asked for anything, but she just knew.
She just
She would
did
look
it.
around and be like, "All right, this needs done, and I'm gonna do it because I know she has her hands full right now."
Yeah, no, and that's like such a good friend. And those are the kind of friends that you need when you are going through that, because it's unless you know, you don't know.
No, exactly, exactly. And I can't even imagine with multiple kids. I only have one.
Yeah, no, and like that's another thing. It's like I think my last baby, the postpartum was so bad just because of all those different things, but also I had a toddler and a tween at home, which like
Those
don't
are
get me
two
wrong,
babies.
she helps, but she doesn't help. So like it's just a whole different freaking storm, and it's really difficult. It is. But there is a bright side at the end of the freaking tunnel.
Yeah, actually, something when we were kind of talking about how we change as people after we have kids, I feel like a lot of people, I've heard a lot of negative opinions about motherhood and about who someone becomes after they become a mother. And I have the exact opposite opinion. When I got pregnant, I was in the lowest, darkest, most terrible part of my life. I was holding on to a lot of grudges and a lot of trauma that I had just been building up over the past like 4 or 5 years. I was drinking constantly. I wasn't taking care of myself. I weighed like 80 pounds. I had an eating disorder. I I was just not doing well. I was putting myself in danger on the regular. I was ruining all my friendships. And as soon as I got pregnant, I couldn't drink anymore. And I couldn't smoke anymore. And I had to take care of myself to take care of my baby. And I became the best version of myself I've ever seen. And I've held on to that. Like, I love who I am now. And I look back at who I was. And I'm honestly disgusted.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted not in who I am now. I think I look better. I think I act better. I love my friends more. I would never go back to that person that I used to be. And I wouldn't be able to say that if I wasn't a mom right now.
I think, yeah, for sure. Being a mom makes you feel things that you never felt before, which in turn makes you a softer person, which I think is needed in a lot of different things, like for sure. Um, and I'm just gonna add on to the postpartum thing is that like you feel so horrible that you feel horrible.
Yeah.
Because you should be feeling happy. Like you wanted this baby, you love this baby so much. And you're like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I getting this rage? Why am I crying every day? Why am I so unhappy?
Yeah.
When I wanted this. Like,
It's like
this
a
is what I
happiness time.
prayed for. Like, this should be a happy time. And I think that's also really hard. And just like know that like
It's just the beginning of mom guilt.
it's just the tip, and things do get better. But it is hard, but it does get better. And motherhood is, I'm not going to say it's not hard, but it is 100% worth it.
I agree.
100%. So don't ever let that deter you from having kids. And on another note, you can literally have a kid and not have any of these.
That's true.
Like,
Everyone's experience is so
everyone's
different. Like,
different.
we're not trying to like fearmonger you.
Yeah, no,
If you're
like
pregnant and you're listening to this, it is so worth it. And it's not like I said, first of all, your brain tricks you into thinking that it wasn't that bad. We literally had to
Yes.
write down points that we wanted to talk about before we started recording
Because we couldn't remember.
Yep.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're like laying all this shit on you, but like
Mhm.
we had to like dig deep for
like you
it.
don't remember it.
You
for
don't
so
remember
long.
it. And
It's so fast.
you love your kids so much, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And
even on a bad day.
yeah, no, and it's amazing because like the love that you have for them is so unconditional that like you can literally have the worst day with them ever, but you're still tucking them in, you're still kissing them, you're still obsessed with them.
Oh my God. Yeah. My daughter's been biting and hitting and pinching. And she's been so bad lately. She's going through like a growth spurt or like a developmental spurt. So she's just been crazy. And it's been really hard. I've been very close to like losing my temper so many times, even medicated. And that's crazy for me. It's hard for me to feel things right now. And I'm feeling irritated. But when she comes up and she goes, Mama, it's all gone.
You
It's
forget all about
gone.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, this whole day was worth it just to hear my name one time from her.
No, it's so true. And like when they start saying like I love you, it's just like the cutest thing ever. And it's
I'm gonna give you a hug out of nowhere.
yeah, it's overstimulating, and then at the same time it's overwhelming because you're so full of love for these little people.
Yeah.
And you'll literally do anything for them. So yeah, the motherhood is wonderful, but it isn't without challenges. So don't let any of the things that we are saying scare you.
But
We hope and pray that you have the smoothest ride ever and that you don't get any of these.
keep in mind that this is probably
It's
going to have to be a
possible.
two-parter.
Yeah. Oh, for
We
sure.
have so much
This
more
is probably
to
a two-parter,
discuss.
and you know what? We wanted it to be not so structured and more of us just chatting, and we're both like so ADHD that we're like, "Bro, what about this? What about this? What about this?" And like we're like bouncing off. So like, yeah, for sure, this will probably a part 2. On that note, though, we should like open up questions for part 2.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions at all about birth or like directly after birth or like symptoms or anything at all, if what you're going through is normal or not normal, if we went through it, please ask.
Yeah,
I would love to hear that.
we have a TikTok account. It's called Mommy Issues Pod. Find it, and we will actually make a post. You guys can comment on the post, and we'll make sure to include your questions for the next episode, because I think that'll be great to have. And on that note, I know some of you may know us in real life, some of you may not, but if you ever need anything at all, if you need to talk, if you need to vent, if you need to know if you're insane, if you don't have anyone to talk to that will relate to you and listen to you, please reach out to one of us because we will be more than happy to talk to you.
Yeah, we so would. And if you're an Ohio mom, we have built a whole support system for you. Moms in your area going through the same things. There's no age limit. You can be pregnant for the first time, or you can be a seasoned mom, grandma. You can be a foster mom. You can be an adopted mom, anything. We built a whole community just for Ohio moms. So if you're in the area and you're looking for some friends and some fun meetups, definitely join the village. Link is in both of our bios.
Yeah. That's basically exactly why we made the village, so that people had avenues. So yeah, if you're an Ohio mom, please do so. But yeah, don't hesitate to reach out because I, for one, know how it is to not have anybody to talk to about your stuff. So
my DMs are always open.
Yeah, always, always, always just reach out and we will
if
talk
it ends up in requests, just send us a comment.
Yeah. Say, hey, we messaged you, and I would, more than happy to talk to you and help you out. But it looks like we're at our time. So we'll probably do a part 2 to postpartum at some point. But thanks for listening.
Yeah, I think this episode went a lot
smoother. Went a lot smoother for sure.
Probably won't get deleted.
No, it will not get deleted.
Let's hope.
We will be posting this for sure. So, and then once we get this episode up, we will follow up with like the days that we're actually going to launch and post them weekly. And we'll get our shit together more so. But thank you so much for listening. We are so appreciative of the support and the love that you all have shown us so far, and we haven't even begun. So thank you so much. Make sure you follow our TikTok, Mommy Issues Pod, I believe.
And then Sadie Michelle.
Yeah, Sadie Michelle and BDito _ on TikTok.
And
Um,
Instagram.
and Instagram. I'm very lax with Instagram, but you can follow Sadie.
Not I. I'm always on Instagram.
So yeah, thank you so much. And we will chat next week.
And we love you.
Yeah, we love you so much. Thank you.
Mwah.
Goodbye.